Everybody, Katrina here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm doing a little of voiceover Katrina mixed with recorded voice Katrina. I discovered how to raise the volume on my camera. It's not exactly what I want, but I'm going to use it for this video because this is kind of a show and tell video. It's not a fancy dancy video. I wanted to show you my fountain pen collection and how I use them, and we're going to even sample some inks. So thank you for joining me today while we do this. We're going to go over my Twisbees, my Kaiko, I hate pronouncing words incorrectly. It's a German brand. Some lamy. My Opus 88, which is in this lovely case that I'll tell you more about. A Deer Heart pen. This is my grandfather's pen. It's a Parker, and I'll give you a little more detail about it. But right now, I just wanted to show you this pen. If I can get it in focus. Unfortunately, I cannot unscrew it to get it cleaned. I did one time, and this is before I really got into fountain pens, and I should have taken it to a dealer in Portland, Oregon, and see if they could help me clean it. But here, I'm just showing you what the nib looked like back in the 1940s. We'll also be sampling, or will not be sampling it. We'll try some samples of ink that I received in a ink swap that was hosted by Simone here on YouTube and Instagram. We'll be using my ink swatch book. If you haven't seen me put anything in that ink swatch book, say that real fast, I will link the video here for the flip through video so you can check it out. These are my ink samples. It's a test kit that you can use for inks, but also you can use it for medical purposes. In the fountain pen world, we use it for inks. A lot of companies will give you ink samples, and so you can try it out before you commit to buying a very large bottle of ink. I wish I knew this when I was first starting out, because then I wouldn't be stuck with a lot of large bottles that I rarely use. It holds about 5 mLs in it, and you can fill it all the way to the top, or just give someone just a little sample of it. The cap screws on really nice and usually doesn't leak. If you are going to send it to one, I would still put it like in a Ziploc baggie and wrap it up really good. So that's what we'll be doing with that today. So let's get ready. Okay, first up is the Twisbee ink pen, fountain pen. They come in these boxes, usually labeled what color the tube is, because these are eco ones. They're made in Taiwan. This is the case that they come in. So just to show you, this is how it'd look like if you got one of them. There is a red piece of paper that goes here, and I cannot find any of mine because I like taking them out so I can see through the top of which one is which. But it comes with a little thing of silicone that you're supposed to use when you are cleaning it and making sure that the piston is lubricated enough. And then this is a little wrench that you use to help undo it. There's a great video from jetpens.com that will show you how to take these apart and how to fill them up. All of mine are fine point, and the reason that I chose fine point is that I feel that with a finer point I take my time in writing. So oops, just to show you this one, I didn't screw back on tight. So they all look like that. You can get them in extra fine, fine, medium, broad. Then some people, they'll get a broad tip and then they'll have a professional grinder grind it to a specific point for them. The reason I chose these over any of the other ones that are made by TWSBI is that I like the colors, and then also you can see the ink in the tube. So when you fill it up, I'll show you with this ink how I fill one of them. This is from Takia, and it's the Suzuki. I got this in a shop called Anderson Pens in Chicago. So you have this type of barrel filler. So you unscrew your cap to your pen into the bottle of ink. And then what you do is that you put it down into the bottle. And then you twist it. And as you twist it, the ink comes into the barrel. And then as you write and there's less ink, all you do is twist it. And it will come out of the barrel. So to flush it, you would just put it in the water, bring the barrel till it's full, and then I go like that, and you can see the ink coming out, hopefully. Do it a couple more times. It's had a lot, because I didn't use it, there's a lot of ink in it. But that's the gist of how you would start flushing and cleaning your barrel. You can also take this nib out and replace it with another nib. I'm not very good at that. I always go to a store and have one of the people that work at the shop to do that for me because they know what they're doing. This is my Quaco Sports collection. It's a company in Germany. This is one of many fountain pens and ballpoint pens that they make. These are the first two that I bought together. I bought myself the fountain pen in fine. I don't know if you, there we go, in fine. And then what you do is when you're going to use it, just put the cap there and then you just write with it. As you can tell, I liked yellow for a long time, and so I had to get the ballpoint pen. They also make a pencil, I think. I haven't used it for a while, but you would just unscrew it here, put in the refill. And the reason I haven't used it for a while is I noticed I went through the refills too fast. So I just have it for right now. Then this was very popular last summer for the ones that are into fountain pen. The Pearl Essence, it was just one of those things that hit Instagram and everyone had to have one. So when I went to Chicago and got my ink bottle, I got this. This is a clip. The clips, I don't know if it will come off. The clips are separate. They usually sell them in this silver. They also have it in gold, and then I think they have another one where it's a little more fancy. And I like silver over gold, so that's why I chose this one. And then you just slip it down on there, so then you can clip it to something. They also make some other very fancy ones that are out of my budget. These are very budget. They make other ones that are very fancy, but these are budget friendly for me. Okay, there's two ways of filling these up. You have a cartridge. You get a pack of cartridges of color. And then you just insert it here. You can tell there's a lot of ink. I need to clean this. And then you screw the barrel back on and write. Or you can have a converter. Converters have been really popular, or at least I've noticed lately, because a lot of people love giving and receiving ink samples. So it's kind of like the TWSBI. You plunge this down. Let's see. I want to get that part. So you'd plunge it. Oh, we just made a mess. You plunge it down, and then when you want to fill it up, you go like that. Put it back in there. And then it's there. And they're pretty much the same amount of ink of the actual cartridge or the converter. Now, one day I was able to watch some Twitch channels. There is a Twitch streaming group called the Stationery, and there's one lady on there. She goes by Hannah Made It, and she was giving this away, and I put in my name for the raffle, and she picked my name. And before I get to my lamy direct ones, I just wanted to show this again. It's made in Japan, and it's made by hand, meaning that a machine isn't making it. I watched a video on the YouTubes, and each of them are delicately made. And I really like this apparatus to put it right in here. It fits perfectly. And then this is a side pocket where I could put some other items. And then it just zips up nicely. This stays on my desk with my pens. So let's get to the lammies. These are my lammies. I have two of them that are in fine nib. These two, and then this one is in a medium. This was my first lamy I bought. Bring down the camera. I bought it in Seattle. Unfortunately, that store no longer exists. She has moved on to other ventures. This company makes lots of fancy ones, but this is like an everyday model for people. It has that really nice clip where you can clip on to things. See, it works really well. This is what a medium nib looks like. If you can see how it has, let me see if I can do this so it doesn't get blurry. See how it has kind of a ball right there. This one I can show you real quick because I'm going to be using something else to do my ink samples in. Compared to, and this is pretty much the TWSBI one also. See the difference? So if you like those Fugachi pens to write with, a broad tip probably would be good for you. A broad tip would probably be good for you. And if you are like me and want a more of a fine line, then might. But they also have it in extra fine also. But I think it depends on the person who and their writing style and what they want to do. So this is my yellow one. Let me show you the other ones. Let me show you the other ones before I show you the insides of it. I'm trying to get. Okay. This one just recently came out, and this was kind of a hit, I think last May or June. This is strawberry, and then they did a white one that they called cream, and I'm not really into white, so I chose this one instead. And see here. Let me get the nib. Okay, so here we go. Here's a comparison. Oops, there we go. See, the yellow one has the little nibby on it and the other one doesn't. And then there. Okay, and then I had to get this one because I love this color green also, and this one is also a fine point. So as you can tell, this one has a red line to it. So each of them work the same. Let me see. So what you do is that you just unscrew this here, and you can get cartridges to put in it. And this one did not have the cartridge. Let's try this one. Okay, you can get cartridges to put in it. And these cartridges are about that big for it. Or you can get what they call a converter. And the converter then acts like a cartridge. I guess I should have kept this one undone. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is how much ink you get for the cartridge. And this is only how much ink you get for the converter. So it's like in half. But this is really nice to use when you have a lot of ink samples you want to try. And it's just like the TWSBI, you twist it down and then you draw it back up and then you put it in the pen. Okay, it's very easy to do. You just go like here until you feel the pressure. And then you just screw it back on. And what I like about these, like the TWSBI ones, you can see the ink in here. Okay. Now I know some people that reuse these. They get a kit, a syringe kit, where they can flush it out and refill it with another type of ink. Whoops, wrong way. And those are my TWSBIs. Okay, I wanted to show you my grandfather's Parker pen once again, just in a little more detail. Right here is where I cannot get it undone, and this is way before I had any of my other pens, and I was clueless on how to take it apart and get it clean. It is adhered itself, but you could untwist it here, and just like the TWSBI, there would be a piston where you would draw the ink up through there. So you would take this part off, and then put it in the container and then do that. So I am in the market of trying to find someone that will clean this up for me within my budget so I can start using it again. And it has a very nice nib. I can get it closer to the camera. I've done some dip pen testing with it. So hopefully I can get it back to its glory and put it back to use. Now, a couple months ago, I won this pen along with a traveler's notebook, and this is what it comes in. The one I have, the title is called Nap Time, and it's an extra fine point. And this is really fancy. I keep it over in this now. So when you get an Opus, it comes like this with this little plunger. Hang on, there we go. Ooh, wow. And a little booklet about the Opus 88. And the reason you have this glass plunger is this is how you fill the pen. You would open up your bottle of ink, and then that's how you would do it. I like using it also to fill samples that I share. So this one is Nap Time. The company that I want it from, it is a design after their puppy who's called Nap Time. This is an extra fine point. The nib's a lot narrower. Can I get closer? There we go. It's a lot more narrower than my other ones. It's a piston filler, but also you can take it off and use the dropper like I said, and to kind of get the vacuuming going so you can write with it, you have to open it up a little. I don't know if it's getting out of focus. Sorry, guys. Right there. And then write with it. This is kind of heavy. It's like a heavy metal, and it falls off easily. If anyone out there owns an Opus 88 and knows the trick, please let me know. I don't want to jam this on the top of it and then not be able to get it off. So when I use it, I usually put the cap and then I just write with it that way. And that's my Opus 88. Okay, now we're going to do some swatching my swatch book. This is my glass pen. I got it at the Renaissance Fair. I've been waiting for one for a long time. This was under $25. I would let you know who I bought it from, but it turns out that they just do the circuit for Renaissance. They don't have a brick and mortar store, and they don't have a store online. Okay. So and I have my water and some papers to clean it off. So let's find a clean page. I usually write something like a quote or something, but I think I might just do something generic today. Okay, this is from the swap, like I mentioned before, from Simone. And the very first one I'm going to do is blushing, or Ferris wheelpress blushing mushroom. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Little sparkles in it. So I just swirl it around to make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do. The first thing I do is I dip my pen as much as possible. And then I write the name of it in this little part. Okay, didn't get enough in there. They make these little these things so you can, oh, that was a big mistake. Get it on there. I dipped it too much. Okay. Well, since we have a lot of that on the page, because that is what I usually do not do, let's take some Q-tips and take advantage of this mistake and see what it's doing. I'm just going to take a brush out and just kind of brush it away. You kind of see the sparkles of it on the inside. So I usually then do this, as you can tell from the previous pages, and then I do some swatching here. So let's continue with that part of the swatching. Make sure you put your cap on. I'll do some dots. And then I do it again over one side of it just a couple times. Since there's still a lot of ink on there, I'm just going to do this. And then we'll try to write with it again. Let's see. There we go. I'm improvising right now on this page. Hopefully we'll have a little better luck on the next one. So this one, you can see the glisten in it. A little picture of that one. Okay, voiceover Katrina is back. I thought I had my camera set up the way I did for the first sample, and I didn't, and I apologize for that. So I'm cutting and pasting the last couple samples together so you guys can see what they look like. I'm going to fast forward through them just a little since this video is kind of long already, but thank you so much so far if you have hung out with me this far. If you have, please drop an emoji in the comments so I know that you're still with me on this. I just wanted to be able to show you the rest of the samples that I received. So I'm going to put it a little fast forward and a little music on so you can enjoy seeing the rest of the samples. Before I go, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And this has been a different experience of filming for me. In 2023, I hope to get my funding for the fancy dancy microphone that I want to put on my camera so I could do more voiceovers at the same time. I really like that experience instead of having to do voiceovers like I'm doing right now. Okay, without further ado, here we go, the rest of the samples. Until next time. Thank you for watching. Remember, messy hands, happy life. See you next time. Bye.